Gonna see if I can find you guys on Facebook yet. There we go. Got a little better zoom there. Hey, Julie. All right. So I am going to use this frame. Hey, hey. All right. So I decided to use, I don't know if I'm going to use this ribbon yet. I don't think I am. I think I'm going to save this ribbon for the sprays. So my inspirations are this one and this one and this out of the Wreath Supply Box. So to help pull that all together, I'm gonna pull in a few ribbons from the shop and some that I have laying around. I don't know if we're gonna use all of these yet, but these are the colors that I grabbed while I was getting ready. And then potentially some 60919. All right, so we are gonna start with our 21-inch mesh. Y'all, I even emptied the trash today. All right, this 21-inch is a cotton ball mesh. It is RY920068. Y'all, anytime that I'm gonna use a mesh roll and I know that I'm not gonna use the whole roll, I like to just grab the paper and slide it right inside the roll in case I ever need the information that's on it. My reel's been cracking you up all day. Debbie, it's been a long day. All right. We're gonna take it, we're gonna fold over that edge, we're gonna fold it in. Christina, you found me at Michael's this afternoon. I'm jealous. All right. Y'all, we're gonna go all the way around the top and potentially the bottom with 10-inch. We're gonna start at the top though and make the decision as we go. Linda's gonna sell wreaths in a local store. Awesome, congratulations. All right, so let's measure out about 10 inches. What's happening on the porch next? Well, you know what? Me and Jordan talked about it today, and we came up with a wonderful theme for the porch. Elaine just got a job at Michael's. Girl, do it for the discount. The dogs were happy that we're back. Yep. Y'all, wait till you guys see an updated photo of Rue. I think he just eats whenever we're not home because he looks so thick. Like, thicker than 2 Snickers. Aaron, tell me at Michael's. I sure hope y'all took photos and posted them on Facebook and tagged me so I can see them. Y'all, I did clean up a lot, but I'm not done. I have a lot more stuff to go through. So for me, whenever I switch seasons, I like to clean up my craft space. It just helps me. So I needed all of the Valentine's and Mardi Gras picked up and moved out. That way I could knock out the rest of my Easter and St. Patrick's Day and then move on to the next season. All right, so we're doing 10-inch poofs all the way around the top. Y'all, I'm also using this frame that has the green twist ties on it because we have a lot of them in stock and they are cheaper than the other frames. And I think a lot of y'all don't get them because they're just green. So I wanted to show y'all that you can use the green ones and they're just fine. All right, so we did our 10-inch poofs all the way around the top. We're gonna go ahead and cut this off. Brenda placed her first order with DecoExchange last night. All right. All right, so we got our 10-inch poofs. Now we're going to grab our mesh. All right, so y'all, let's talk about the design that I have in my head before we finish making it. Because whenever you're planning out your design, I want you to think about how you use your mesh. Right? Look, mesh is, the price is going up. It's costing us a lot more to get it. It's going to cost you a lot more to get it. I know a lot of us have a whole lot of mesh everywhere already, but I just want you to start thinking about how you use it and make sure you use it wisely. All right, so in this case, between the 21-inch and the 10-inch, the 10-inch is more expensive. So I'm thinking that I want this design to, of course, we're going to add more mesh, but I want this butterfly like centered kind of in the wreath with a giant bow down here accenting it. So whenever I look at it, look how much of the center is covered. All right, so I am only gonna put the 10-inch mesh around the outside. Y'all, I sell craft supplies, I do, and my job should be to sell you the most craft supplies as possible, but that's, y'all, we're also a business coach and a creative coach, so my responsibility to you is to make sure that you are designing the best that you can and not with the most supplies that you can possibly use, right? So take my suggestion with a grain of salt, but I am trying to help you as a designer. And if you succeed long term, I succeed long term. Elaine said that she's running a Facebook ad. She just turned one and she's getting orders. Congratulations. Okay. So we're going to take our 10-inch. Y'all, this is the mesh that was in the Wreath Supply Box. Of course. Of course. Y'all, so we're going to cut this into 30-inch strips. Y'all, listen. The more that you can sell with a higher profit means the more supplies that you can buy, and you can join business coaching and creative coaching and all those things. And your success is the long-term success of our industry. So I'm going to try to show you what I would do if I was going to list it and sell it on Etsy, which I will. All right, anyways, back to work. So we're going to cut 10 pieces at 30 inches. Y'all, that's also, just something to remember. We still make and sell for our Etsy shop. So everything that you see us make, I am making to sell. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoop, didn't cut all the way through. Y'all, so if you notice that's happening, 2 things need to happen. You need to look at your blade and see if you ran over anything and it made a dent in your blade. And if there's no dents in your blade, look at your mat and just kind of clean it off. If something is making your blade like skip, it's going to cause it not to cut through. So I didn't see any dents in my blade, but I cleaned off the mat and now we're going good again. All right. So we're going to take our 30-inch cut and we're going to ruffle each end just a little bit. All right, and then we're going to just scrunch it right down the middle. And I am going to turn upside down. That way that I can see the 2 curls and the ruffle right in the middle. Yeah, so whenever I talk to the Michaels connection, who's over ribbon and mesh and all those things, she said that some cases the stores won't even get their supplies until late March. She was surprised to see it already out. Starla says that she doesn't want to deal with shipping, so she doesn't do Etsy. Why not? Shipping is not hard. Y'all, I started working on putting everything together for the class that we're doing later this month. All the coaches are going to be here. Got quite a few bonuses lined up. All right, so let's just keep adding our 30-inch pieces around. Yeah, Sandy, ours still had Christmas too. Lisa, we do ship international. You don't have the extra room for shipping supplies? Well, we teach people how to buy the supplies as they sell. So you don't really have to store anything except for a roll of tape, maybe. You can't figure out all of Etsy's hidden fees? There's really no hidden fees. Linda, you had biscuits and gravy this morning and you didn't invite me? Am I going to be in all the medical stores that we know of? Lisa, check out cheaperwreathshipping.com. It'll take you right to my recommended shipping platform. Is an Etsy store hard to set up? Nope. You hear horror stories about all the fees? You've been listening to people who must not know what they're doing. I don't know. Yo, I don't know who Peggy thinks she's texting, but Peggy just said, it's women like her that think they can find a man. I wonder who she's talking to and what she's talking about. All right, let's keep ruffling. We've almost got all our ruffles in there. I wasn't in Florida yet. What the heck? Alice, this is my full-time job. All right. So now you can see that we have that center that's purple. On the outside edges, we have that pretty mesh. Getting a feel for I want to add it. All right, so I am going to add my pipe cleaners to this little guy. Debbie, all you need is a printer. Just print it. No address, printer. All right, so I want to add this in here. Then I want to look from the front to make sure I can't see that pipe cleaner through it. All right, so all I did was run it right through the back, twisted it off, gave myself 2 long ends. Now I'm going to do the same at the top. Melissa, always use wired ribbon. Now at the top, I'm going to put my pipe cleaners around this wire that's holding the fabric in. All right, so the main goal is just that you don't see any of the pipe cleaners from the front. All right, I'm gonna send this one right through the center. Where did I get the butterfly? It was from the Wreath Supply Box. Christy, right now, you can join anytime, but we're thinking about changing that. Maybe a whole lot of changes coming soon, actually. All right, tying this off. No, these are 20-inch pipe cleaners. We sell those at DecoExchange.com. All right. Y'all, now I'm going to tie off the 2 pieces that we put up here. It's a 15-inch frame. So the way that frames work is it says 15 to 24 inch, I believe. Do I twist 2 together? Nope, we just buy them 20 inches. And so what happens is Facebook will sometimes remove you from a group if you're not active in it automatically. We've seen it happen a few times. So if you're still paying, just go back to the group and add yourself in there. Missy found me at Michael's. Aw. All right. So let me show you guys the back. Well, that zoomed in, not zoomed out. All right, so look, when we look at it, the base of the butterfly is down there. I left room for the bow. And then on the back, you can see in the center, I went one in each direction. And then off the wings, I tied it on both sides. That way it's nice, it's secure, it's not gonna fall off. Grapevine wreaths are back in stock, yep. All right, let's add our bow next. And it hasn't been taken out of your bank account either. If you email customer service, they can help you out. I can tell you that we don't just cancel people. So it had to be some type of issue. But they can get that resolved for you. Lynn, I did say there's going to be changes to the groups, but I haven't made them yet or laid out all the things. So I don't have answers on that yet. All right, so let's get our ribbon out. I can tell you what I'm thinking. So what I would like to do is change it to where you have to like go through a little mini class before you get into business coaching. And I'll tell you why. I think whenever new people that are already nervous about starting their business go straight from the outside world into the coaching group, it's extremely overwhelming, right? We've got data in there, and we have live coaching in there, we have Q&A in there, and you've got people asking questions that have been there for 4 years, and then you're brand new, and it's intimidating. So I'm thinking about having it where people will take like a little mini class first. That way you go through like how to set up your Etsy shop, how to do your Facebook page, how to get your email started, and then you get asked if you want to join the coaching group. You know, I want to make it where you succeed. Y'all, listen. Whenever someone joins and they pay $57 a month, that is nothing compared to if you succeed and your business continues to grow and you're not overwhelmed, right? Then you'll stay. Like, it's not worth it to me if you just pay $57 and you're so overwhelmed you quit. That's not what I want. Okay. Anyways, let's get back on track. See, Jane. That's why Jane dropped out. Y'all, so whenever people left, we had an exit survey, and that exit survey said it was overwhelming or they felt intimidated because everyone else was asking high-level questions. And, you know, I don't want that to happen. All right. Y'all, I'm going to start with my 4-inch. Gonna measure out about 12 inches. Okay, so for everyone that said they dropped out because they didn't know what to do first, do you think it's a good idea to have to like go through a little mini course first. All right, y'all, let's measure out about 7 inches. Y'all, another night, not tonight, I'll come back and I'll talk to y'all about everything that I'm thinking and I'll get your feedback. Because listen, I don't want to go make something that no one wants, right? But if I can make something that helps you take that next step in your business or get your business started or helps you move, how many of y'all look around your house right now and there's a wreath on every door, on the back of the chairs, hanging on the walls, sitting on the floor? Right? I want to help you get rid of those. All right. So, literally, while I was flying back home, I just had a lot of ideas on how I wanted to help y'all grow. All right. So we're gonna make our next loops just a little bit smaller. That's me, yep. Also, you know, you would be able to take that class and you can just buy the class without a subscription. That way, if you go through the class and you don't feel like the coaching group's the right place to go after, you can make that decision. All right, so we're just making our loops a little bit smaller. All right, I wanted to bring in some color, so I'm using this one. All right, y'all, now I'm gonna throw in that rose. A giant mosquito just flew at me. That's all right, Betty. Two broke teachers. You guys were next on my list to be in the mastermind group. I just didn't have enough empty seats. I actually went through your application. I checked out your business. It looked amazing. I just didn't have enough empty seats. I even talked to it with the other girls, trying to figure out how we could make it work. We just did not get enough people. I mean, we didn't have enough empty beds. So if you guys aren't aware of how our masterminds work, we bring people all to one giant house, and we're limited to the number of beds that we have in the houses. But we were just one pillow short to get you guys in. All right, gonna grab a 20-inch pipe cleaner. Megan and Jen and Candy will all be here tomorrow. And I think they're gonna be here tomorrow and Monday. All right, we're gonna give it a good, nice, tight squeeze. And twist. Melissa, all the videos are available for replay. What is Michael's carrying? My face, girl. All right, look, if your bows, if the loops don't pucker up like that, it's not quite tight enough. Kim, for sure. So because you're the next person on the list, whenever a spot is open, you'll be the first one that we contact. I've been around Megan enough to know how her excitement is, for sure. All right, so we've got our bow done. All right, we want our longest tails. Okay, so I want it to be at an angle. Turn this so I can see it. Like that. And my bow down here. Tails hanging down that way. Perfect. I don't think we've ever carried long zip ties. You love Megan? Yeah, she's fun. Logo Jet, have you seen one? I think it's just a UV printer. All right, y'all, I'm gonna trim up these tails on our bow, mainly just because I wanna see what we're working with. Yeah, Brenda, they're separate. AK, it's cold. You should have called in sick, girl. All right, let's trim our tails down. Penny, just go to learnfromdamon.com and the classes are there. All right, so y'all, I had a little bit of ribbon, or the regular mesh left that we used, the 10-inch. So I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna cut as many 10-inch strips as I can. Right, so normally I would use 1.5 rolls of 10-inch. So we're just gonna use what we got. Y'all, my rotary cutter has to have a dent in it that I don't see. Oh, it's right there. Rachel, I have had a lot of bow teachers, but all the bows that I make now were inspired by my own twists of different kinds. Is the message from DecoExchange? What message, Vicky? All right, so we're gonna take our little 10-inch curl and I'm gonna add it into anywhere I can see an open space on the top. Right, just to add a little bit of color in there. The mesh. So the 10-inch mesh was from the Wreath Supply Box. The 21-inch mesh was from DecoExchange. Y'all, we need to get this out of here. I did not design ribbon at Michael's. Nope. I just got to show people how to use product from Michael's. All right. Now, Y'all, if I look at my bow, it is slightly pointing down. See that? So you could sit there and you can fight with it and do all those things. Or you could grab some mesh and you can give it a little bit of support. For me, I'm gonna go for the support. So first, I want a nice clean edge. Then I'm gonna measure about 12 inches. All right, I'm gonna let that curl up together. Then I'm gonna fold it together. All right, so I just folded those cut edges so they were inside, so they're kind of hidden. Gonna take a pipe cleaner, wrap it around here, as tight as I can. All right, now we're just gonna work this underneath our bow to hold it up. All right, gonna just pull that in as tight as I can. You added the more mesh last night. It works good, doesn't it? All right, y'all, now look at my bow. It's nice and full. Claudette, listen. I saw your post on Facebook. And beautiful wreath, cute photo. Don't ask people, would they pay? Just say, hey, here's my newest wreath, and it is X dollars. Whenever you're saying, would you pay, you're giving people permission to say, will you take less? I haven't talked to you since I saw that, but I've been wanting to tell you that, and I just remembered. All right. Y'all, now we need to cut some ribbon tails for around the wreath. I'm gonna go with 2 different sets. I'm gonna do 12-inch tails. So we're gonna need 5 of each of these blue colors. 1, 2, 4, 5. Of course. How long will the signs be available that we print? I don't have any intention to take them down. All right, we're gonna fold that in half and dovetail. Did I carry the plaid ribbon? All the ribbon that I'm using tonight came from DecoExchange except for this pink Sam's Club. It is an empty wastebasket. Crazy, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I plan on doing custom printing? Not at the moment. We don't have enough staff or team to do custom printing. All right, we need 5 of these. 2, 3, 4, 5. How's Todd? I heard from Todd, or my mom checked on Todd yesterday, and he was starting to feel better, but he's still not feeling great. Hopefully he'll be back to work soon. So y'all, if you're not aware, our customer service person, Todd, Todd started picking orders, packing boxes, shipping. So he knows all of that side of the business, moved into customer service. So whenever people like messaged us, he was quickly able to answer them. But he's been out sick for almost a month now. And one of our other admins, who is not from customer service, is trying to fill in, and she's doing a really good job. She is doing the best that she can without knowing how our business works 100%. But a lot of the questions that she's getting asked, she's having to wait for me or Parker to respond. So it's just taken a little bit longer in customer service. So if you have emailed her, and you haven't gotten a response yet, just know that they're working it. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, my mom works for me. You know, he got sick at the same time that we left for almost 3 weeks. Yeah, Sandy is amazing. She's really good. But Sandy does more stuff with the membership side of business. So she knew a lot of that stuff. But, whenever someone emails and asks about a certain ribbon or something, she's just not as familiar with that side of business. But she is definitely helping us out by helping fill in. All right. My business is located in Louisiana. All right, so we're gonna grab all of our ribbon tails that we just cut. We're gonna layer them on top of each other. We're gonna fold it. We're gonna give it a good pinch. All right, then we're gonna add one of these all the way around the base in that bottom twist tie. Y'all, luckily, me and Parker are back home for at least over a month, so we'll be able to help out and try to get things straightened out. Yeah, Beth. Sandy does everything that she can. Most of the time, the problem is us, right? So whenever we were in meetings all last week, you know, she would email us, ask us a question, and we couldn't answer it until after hours. And then she was already home, so then she had another question the next day. It's just a lot of back and forth on our end that we shouldn't have to deal with for a while. All right, layer our next two. Pinch those. All right, we're gonna add that one right in the next one. Heather, y'all, I didn't even tell people that I was listing some of my 60919. Okay, let me tell y'all what happened. This is the truth while we add these ribbon tails. Tammy messaged me and said, hey, do you have any extra blue and red 60919? And I was like, I have a few in my personal stash. Do you need some? She said, yeah. So I listed 24. Y'all, before Tammy could leave my text message and go over there and purchase it, someone had already snatched her 24 pink ones. Have we considered remote customer service? We did that once. We actually had a person here that was part of the industry, and it wasn't a good idea. So somebody snatched Tammy's right away. So then I started like counting how many cases of all of them that I had. And I listed, I kept about a case and a half of every color for me. And then I listed some. I listed the rest. No, I got her some, Claudette. But we were like, what the heck? We literally listed 24 and they were gone. Barb, I'm using scissors from DecoExchange.com. I was only able to list about 100 of each color That's why I didn't send a text message. Can y'all imagine if I would have only had 100 of each color and I would have texted 15,000 of y'all? I would have gotten hate mail for years. All right, we're almost all the way around. So right now we're only adding ribbon around the bottom. Donna, if we do, it would be on the website. How many are in a case? 96. The blue is a 4-inch. Yep. You just grabbed some yellow? Yeah, later this afternoon, I think I added 2 colors, maybe blue and yellow. How much is a case? You mean to buy a case? 96 times whatever the current price is. Lots of pretty colors. She only wanted $100. That's amazing. When I first started, that's how I also got a lot of inventory. I found people that were leaving the business, and I bought all their supplies. All right, last set of tails around the bottom. We do have a DecoExchange app. You can go into the App Store and just type in DecoExchange. Y'all, I didn't know this. I guess because I've never shopped our live sales. But if we're on a live sale, it's a lot easier to shop whenever we are in the app. Did y'all know that? You know how on the Facebook Live you have to say sold and the number? If you're watching the live sale in the actual app, all you have to do is click on it and it adds it to your cart. And you can go to Makers University and learn how to make wreaths. You can get there from learnfromdamon.com and just join creative coaching. All right, so now I'm gonna look around the top and I'm just going to look for any open twist tie that I can see. So I see 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to cut a few more tails for those 5. I think I'm going to do 3 of this color. 2. Just do 2 of this one. When am I gonna have another live sale? Maybe soon. We got a lot of new stuff in last week that Parker put on the website today, but I don't think it's live yet because a lot of it needed photos. Penny, I knew that you could watch the live sale on the app, but I thought you still had to, like, say live and the number. All right. Y'all, I'm just going to measure it on my mat for the 12. What came in yesterday, y'all, was a lot of greenery and stuff like that. All right, let's use this one. We're going to do our 3, 2, 3. So it'll only hold your cart during a live sale, not just regular. And I don't believe we ever did 60919 in a live sale. So also, if you haven't gotten the Wreath Supply Box yet, you can still sign up and get the March box. The March box has something, I think it's the March box. It's got something definitely unique in it. No, you don't have to sign up each month. If you are on the subscription, then you will get a box until you cancel. All right, so now we're just gonna find those open places around the top and add our mesh and our ribbon in there. What are the girls coming to your shop for? So me and Jen and Candy and Megan are friends outside of the wreath making world. Like Jen, they've actually all came and met us on vacation before. And they're coming in town. Well, they're gonna be like 2 hours from us. So they asked if they could just stay an extra day in Louisiana and come hang out for the day. So of course I said yes. Can you pause your box without canceling? No. If your box isn't filled, we give it to someone else. Unfortunately, we whether you take the box or not, we still have to pay for your supplies, and we're not going to just hold on to that box, right? Sherry, we do that a lot, but not every wreath that we put together. We have enough supplies to do kits. Also, I don't feel like teaching every time I go live. Sometimes I just want to make a wreath and hang out. And it wouldn't be fun for me if I just had to teach every time I was live with a kit. Whenever I have a kit, I feel like I have to teach the whole time. Whenever I'm just making a wreath like this one, I can have teaching moments and still get to enjoy y'all's company. Melissa, there were no massage therapists available. We tried. On average, how many monthly boxes do you send out? About 3,200. All right. Y'all, now we're going to add a little bit of floral in here. Do we have this one still left? You joined today? Susan, if you joined today, you're getting the next month's box. So you pre-play. You pre-pay. Tammy, we do not guarantee that we combine orders unless it's a live sale. All right. I think I'm going to use a little bit of the turquoise and a little bit of the pink. I did, actually, that kit may still be available. I haven't looked recently. Let me look. I know before we left, we did a kit. That we still need to make. It may have sold out though, because I don't see it. No, we still have some in stock, it looks like. WK-059 is still in stock in our Etsy shop. All right, so we're just gonna break this apart. Gonna fluff this out. Y'all, as you're fluffing out your flowers, hey Kylie. Yeah, it would be WK-059 on Etsy. So it'd be DecoExchange.etsy.com. All right, so we're fluffing those out. I think we're gonna alternate between the turquoise and the pink. Yo, I don't know why there's so many giant mosquitoes in here, but okay, question. The giant mosquitoes that don't bite, what do y'all call them? Rochelle, we have cemetery saddles and urn arrangements in the membership portal and our creative coaching membership. Mosquito eaters. Daddy long legs. Girl, that's a spider. Mosquito hawks. That's what we always called them. All right. So we fluffed out our stems. One is turquoise, one is pink. And we are going to add these around our base. All right, I'm going to just glue them right into the twist on the frame. Gollywoppers? I've definitely never heard that before. All right, whenever I add my floral stems, I just add them mainly around the top. I am not part of the crafting coaches corner. It's a different group of people. I'm gluing them into the twist, and then if available, I wrap the twist around the stem, but that part's just extra, you don't have to do that. The flowers are sold out. They're $609.19 though. All right, y'all, I'm gonna steal one more off this little bush. Am I using a cordless glue gun? Nope, I'm using the glue gun from DecoExchange.com. So if you guys don't know, we've tested about 30 different glue guns before we landed on one that we were willing to carry and sell. You're eating Cheez-Its? Well, that's good. Do we have any February boxes left? I don't think we do. And I think Parker listed the extra supplies just on the website. All right, y'all, let's check it out. Well, make sure it's hanging up, y'all. There we go. That's our test to make sure the stuff doesn't fall off. Hang on, now it's crooked. There we go. All right, so let's recap. We used a 21-inch roll of mesh, right? We use a 15-inch frame with green twist ties. We added our 21-inch mesh around the top. Then we used a 10-inch roll. We cut those into 30-inch strips, and we added a 30-inch ruffle all the way around the outside. Then we made our bow. No, we didn't. Then we added our butterfly that came from the wreathsupplybox.com. Then we added our bow. Then we added ribbon tails all the way around it and our floral sprays. I think you guys can see it now. Am I selling the butterfly? I don't know if there are extra butterflies available or not. It does look like we have extra butterflies. It is item number KG300815. Did we do any 18-inch ruffles? We did not. How much would you sell this wreath for? I don't know. I have to add up the supplies and then list it. But I'll list it tonight before I leave the warehouse. Somebody else was asking something else a while ago. If something else was in stock, I don't remember what it was. Sorry, y'all. All right, y'all, that's all I got for tonight. I'm sure I'll be live tomorrow at some point, maybe Monday. We'll see. All right, you guys have a good night. And until next time, you can shop at DecoExchange.com. You can get a subscription box at wreathsupplybox.com, or you can learn how to make